This is US President Donald Trump in an awkward spot in the Oval Office on 23rd of May 2025, when his iPhone rang twice in front of reporters and he struggled to silence the calls. This took place just as Trump was criticizing Apple for shifting more of its manufacturing to India, something that made the moment all the more ironic. While dramatically escalating his America First agenda, President Donald Trump has threatened Apple with a 25% tariffs if it continues making iPhones in India. But why is Apple doubling down on India despite the risks? And what does this mean for American users' next iPhone price tag? Let's break it down. At a business event in Doha on 15th of May 2025, Donald Trump slammed Apple over his dissatisfaction with the company's CEO Tim Cook over expanding manufacturing footprint in India. Trump once again gave a warning to Apple on Truth Social on 24th of May. He said that iPhones sold in the US must be made in America or Apple pays a 25% tariff.
And I had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday. I said to him, Tim, you're my friend. I treated you very good. You're coming in with $500 billion, but now I hear you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India. You can build in India if you want to take care of India, because India is one of the highest tariff nations in the world. It's very hard to sell into India.
While addressing reporters in the Oval Office, Trump also said that this applies to all smartphones and not just Apple.
This morning that if they don't make their iPhones in the U.S., they're going to hit them with a 25% tariff. Do you have the power to tariff one single company? Why would you want to hurt an American company in that way?
It would be more. It would be also Samsung and anybody that makes that product. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. So anybody that makes that product, and that'll start on, I guess, the end of June. It'll come out. I think we have that appropriately done by the end of June. So if they make that product. Now, again, when they build their plant here, there's no tariff. So they're going to be building plants here. But
Trump also claimed that he had personally warned Apple CEO Tim Cook against expanding in India.
I had an understanding with Tim that he wouldn't be doing this. He said he's going to India to build plants. I said, that's okay to go to India, but you're not going to sell into here without tariffs.
Apple has not responded publicly, but actions speak louder. The tech giant is accelerating its shift to India, with Foxconn and Tata opening massive new plants. The reason is this. A report reveals that assembling an iPhone in India costs just $30, while in US it costs $390. And even with Trump's tariff, Indian-made iPhones would still be cheaper. Plus, India's $790 million production-linked incentives sweeten the deal, something the US does not offer. Here's the deal. The US lacks the infrastructure, skilled labor, and supplier ecosystem needed for iPhone production. On the other hand, India has an army of specialized engineers, something the US cannot replicate overnight. And this is not what we are saying. This is what Tim Cook said during an interview at the Fortune Global Forum in December 2017. The Apple CEO said, and I'm quoting him, "In the US you could have a meeting of engineers and I'm not sure we could fill the room." Trump's dream of made in USA iPhones also faces a harsh reality. Shifting production could slash Apple's profits per phone from $450 to $60, forcing price hikes. If Trump's tariffs take effect, analysts warn iPhone prices could jump 250%, hitting American consumers already grappling with inflation. The price of one unit will become roughly $3,500, which currently stands at nearly $1,000. Meanwhile, Donald Trump has also criticized European Union's Digital Markets Act, which fined Apple $2 billion in 2024, calling it unfair targeting of American companies.
we're not going to stand for it. They won a $17 billion lawsuit for Apple, and I read that case, and that's not a case that should have been won. They're suing other of our companies. They use this as a weapon, but they use it really to raise funds for what they do. It's almost like a fundraising mechanism. So we add that to the fact that they do the non-monetary tariffs and lots of other trading, you would call them trading barriers. They don't take our cars, they don't take our agriculture, they don't take anything, but we take their cars by the millions. And therefore they have the jobs, they get the money, and we get closed plants. It's not going to happen that way anymore. Thank you very much.
Under Tim Cook's leadership, Apple has rapidly expanded its footprint in India, positioning the country as a critical hub for iPhone assembly and supply chain diversification. In the year ending March 2025, Apple produced approximately $22 billion worth of iPhones in India, a remarkable 60% jump from the previous year. This surge was supported by major investments from Apple's partners, most notably Foxconn, which recently committed $1.5 billion to a new display module plant in Tamil Nadu. As of 2025, India accounts for about 15 to 20% of global iPhone output, with projections suggesting that figure could rise up to 32% by next year and as much as 65% by fall 2025. Apple's romance with India is also driven by strategic necessity. Geopolitical tensions in China have prompted Apple to seek alternatives, and Indian government has responded with business-friendly environment. The company's manufacturing ecosystem now includes not just Foxconn but also Tata Electronics and Pegatron, collectively creating around 200,000 jobs in India. In March 2025 alone, over 3 million iPhones assembled in India were exported to the US. Apple's investments are transforming its own supply chain and giving a boost to India's electronics sector and export economy, cementing the Cook-era partnership as one of the most consequential in the tech industry today.